Hi. I feel like a pirate with this pant leg rolled up like this and this kind of peg-leg boot, but... A few weeks ago, Dr. Allison asked me to be tonight's speaker, and the first things that came to mind were how proud I was and how honored, and certainly nervous or scared didn't come to mind, but I am a little right now. Arrogantly, I thought it was befitting that I be tonight's speaker. Considering it's my last year, I'm never short on the words, and according to some of the faculty, I'm usually good for a laugh or two. And it wasn't until I sat down to try to put to words my feelings about these kids and my experience here that I realized the responsibility that was entrusted in me. Paper wad after paper wad hurtled through space across my apartment on their way to the garbage can, mostly in vain. As Dee can tell you, I'm not such a good shot. The title of my first draft went something like this: High School, the best 8.5 years of my life. Only that's not entirely true, because the first 4 years were like going to get my teeth pulled out without Novocaine at the dentist. I did not enjoy high school, and perhaps that's why I became a teacher, because I wanted to give to these kids something that I didn't have. The latter 4.5 years of that high school experience has been at Allison Academy, and I have never felt more loved and respected in an academic setting ever. These last 4.5 years have been the highlight of my adult life. They really have been. Then I was going to talk about the road less traveled. But as soon as some of these knuckleheads take that road, it becomes considerably more traveled upon. So that just wouldn't do either. Then I thought I'd talk about the meaning of life, and thought about it for a few minutes and realized that I had no idea. I even Googled it, and my Hewlett-Packard didn't have any better answers for me either. And then fear set in. Why did she ask me? What makes me qualified to be here in front of a room full of lobbyists, doctors, lawyers, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, teachers, professors? Are my accomplishments any greater than anyone's in this room? Certainly not. I'm not a father. I don't know what it's like to raise a child. But I do share something in common with everyone in this room, is that I love your kids. I really do. And I love what I do. And it's a bit gut-wrenching that I have to go. And that's kind of what I'd like to talk about tonight. I've never been candid in the classroom with these children, and I don't intend on being candid right now. I'm going to tell you the truth. Change is scary. Uncertainty is scary. Look it dead in the eye and face it head on and enjoy it, because change is the only constant. And I gave you that speech about spreading your wings and flying, and don't grow up too fast and whatnot, but in actuality, life is really, really, really short. It's very short. I kind of think it's like your favorite dessert. It's short and sweet, and when it's gone, you can still take another bite. My best friend Daron's father, who's Israeli, said that life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer to the end it gets, the quicker it goes. It's true. And when I was hiking in the Smoky Mountains with an 89-year-old man named Bert Sharp, he was kind of like a guru of mine, very intelligent man. He said, "Tom, life is like a handful of sand at the beach. If you squeeze onto it too tightly, if you try to live it too aggressively, it slips through your fingers and falls out of your hand. If you don't respect life and you're very frivolous with it and you're wild with it, it'll fly back all over the beach, and that's no good either. Life is best lived gently and reverently, letting it rest just there in your hand. There are only so many things you can control. The wind might come along and blow it away. There's nothing you can do about it. But there are a few things in your life that you can control, and I'm not going to bog you down with advice that you're not going to remember in 10 minutes, because I know I didn't during my high school graduation. So I'm going to keep it simple and give you a few pieces of advice. Love and respect yourselves. When you leave here tonight, leave your baggage at the door. You are good looking enough. You are smart enough. You are thin enough. Don't waste time with hang-ups like that. It's not worth it. Trust me. What's so funny, Harold? You have some of that banana rum before you go the other day? Another thing is to love and respect one another, because you, yourselves, and each other is all you will ever have. Sitting next to you right now are the future leaders of our country. As scary as that may seem right now, it's true. And another thing is to respect life itself. I hope that all of you plan to continue your education, because education has been so good to me. As soon as I graduated college, I stopped working. I haven't worked a day since I graduated college because I love what I do. If you love yourselves and you love each other and you have a respect for life and love what you do, you're set. Please remember that. To close, I just want to recall a few things that we've learned out of textbooks over the last 4 years. And what made me think of this tonight is we are at the cusp, we are right here, only 8 years into a new century, your century. And in some ways, not to take the negative, perhaps that my mother and father, your mothers and fathers, our grandparents, I have failed you. In history, we learn about the atrocities of war, but the bombs still drop. In history, we learn about the horrors of slavery in this country, and even with an African-American man and a female about to be nominated for the presidency of the United States, or possibly, racism is still an injustice at every level of our society. Biology teaches us that genetically we're all brothers and sisters, but we remain alienated. People right now suffering in China after an earthquake, children in Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan, who have to suffer the horrors of war every single night. We learn in environmental science that we are taking resources from our planet wholesale, and 90% of the things that we use end up in a landfill within 6 months of purchase. What will you do with your life that will be great? How will you stare adversity head on? How will you face uncertainty? How will you measure success? Being successful is not the shoes you wear, not the name on your watch, not your title or position, but how much love you bring to the world. And I feel at Allison Academy we've been successful because I feel loved and I love all of you. Good luck.